Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. You might notice I've got something new I'm trying out. I've got a little bit of a starting soon screen. Something I've wanted to have for a while. I'm going to have one. I've got some ideas for some video ones that I can make. But for now, this is the live game right here. Let me take off the starting soon overlay. And yeah, this is in game right now. I've set up a camera path with camera tools, so we're just doing a slow drone shot around the rocket during a sunrise, and we're about to get going here and see if we can get some more science data from the moon and unlock some new technologies. And also, we need to rescue some Kerbals. So if you were here last week, you were here to see us launch some probes to different planets in the Kerbol System. Let's see, where are we at with that? So here's Kerbin right here, and we've got these two going to Moho, and those will be interesting to try out because we did some trial and error last week, and we found that we did not have enough electric charge storage to actually send the data back that we were getting from, in particular, our magnetometer, however you want to emphasize that. And so we weren't able to send data back from that because we had run out of electric charge. We've got plenty of solar panels and such, so we can recharge the batteries, but there wasn't enough stored. So the solar panels weren't keeping up when we were transmitting. So we've got two probes headed there, and we've got two headed towards Jool as well. So we've got Jool Probe 1 and 1B, and Moho Probe 1 and 1B, and it looks like I capitalized those differently. That's fine. Jool is bigger, so it gets a big B. And there are a lot more destinations there. So yeah, Jool is this planet out here. It's kind of a Jupiter analog, and it has quite a few moons as well, and we want to get a close look at those moons. So that's what those are going to do, and they're not going to get there soon, but what we are going to do soon is a course correction. And so I made sure in my preparations off screen to not go past this alarm up here. So we will be having a course correction in 4 in-game days. And so then these guys also, they're going inwards to Moho, the closest planet to Kerbal. And technically there's no actual name for the sun of this system, but pretty popularly it's known as Kerbal, just as the sun for Earth is known as Sol, so this is Kerbal. And that's what I go with. I like it. And we're coming ever closer to Jebediah and Valentina and Bill, or Bob. I always say it wrong. Bill died. We had a funeral and everything. So yeah, no, Valentina and Bob coming back. So that'll be interesting, and that's why we're trying to climb the tech tree. One of the reasons anyway is that we want to upgrade our rescue ships so that when they do make it to Kerbin, we can launch a good rescue. Now Jebediah does not have any fuel, so I don't know if we'll be able to rescue him on this pass. But if nothing else, we'll have the technology to send something out farther and pick him up. Valentina has a little bit of fuel, so she actually has a maneuver coming up, and let's see if I can look at the alarms list. It should be on here. Let's see. Yeah, maneuver. Okay, so let's get the camera tools out of the way. I can't do it from this screen. So, yep, and the sun is coming up. Oh, this is so cool. I timed that well. I did it deliberately too, and I'm just happy that it's working out. And yeah, our drone is still... Actually, it's restarted the path since I came back to this. So let's actually end that path and take a look. Oh man, that is just pretty. Let's take a screenshot. There we go. All right, so yeah, so 1 and almost a half years still before Valentina can even make the maneuver to get a good approach on Kerbin. So that's gonna be interesting. Meanwhile, this, let's see, we've got, okay, good. I let these auto-assign, I just realized, and so, because I just wanted the cool view here, but we've got Eric, our pilot, we've got Lindsay, our scientist, and Natalia is our engineer for this mission. And the other thing that I did between last stream and the one before was derp and send a lot of very lucrative science burning up in Kerbin's atmosphere instead of recovering it from the moon. So let's send this to the moon, and I have upgraded it. We can't see it from here. Let's see if I can peek in here. So I've stretched the fuel tanks on the lander and the return vehicle, and I have upgraded the engines as well as the landing gear on this thing. So we have a whole lot more Delta V, and hopefully that means we don't have to use our rescue vehicle to pick up these guys after they get the science. So one last thing to note before we launch this, I have replenished the escape pods / return capsules on the station, so there are 6 now, and I remembered we have 3 more that we weren't able to bring to the station because we had run out of electric charge on that ship, so they're just sitting in orbit. So I think we will need to do some rescue missions, and instead of sending them to the station, we'll just go straight to that drifting piece of hardware in space and send them down on those escape return capsules. Escape pod return capsules, it's interchangeable. So let's do this. Let's close the alarm window. Let's open up camera tools, and let's get a cool cinematic shot of this launch. So I've been experimenting with this as well. Let's go over here. Let's set the target. I like to target the fairing here because then it's that's going to stay with us the entire time that we're using this view. And set the position. Let's get a safe distance away from the rocket over here. All right, and that's quite the zoom. Let's zoom out just a little bit. That's pretty good. All right, yeah, we got a nice morning for our launch. All right, so let's get this started. Let's jump right in. We've got stability assist on. We've got throttle up. And all right, let's count down. Eric, Lindsay, and Natalia are headed back to the moon to pick up some science. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Oh, and we should turn on the flight recorder as well. We want altitude, acceleration, and dynamic pressure, and we are beginning our pitch over maneuver right now. A little late, in fact, but it'll be okay. It is wanting to fight me, in fact. Alright, vehicle is supersonic. And we have a problem. Let's see. Let's actually let's double check that because I don't usually revert. Jesse Spaceman, go 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 go! You saw a problem. But yeah, I set that up to do the cinematic for the beginning without checking anything. So we're gonna give myself one single mulligan right here. Something odd was up with that. Let's see. So we've got our staging here. Yeah, but we can take a look. Yeah, so this actually the return stages is the same, but the landing stage is stretched, so we have a lot more Delta V there. But yeah, that was not behaving as it should have. So let's see this. Okay, yeah, we've got our separatrons and our couplers. Yeah, that's odd. That should not have been. That should not have done quite like that. It could even be having left it just on one view for a while. Kerbal can be kind of weird like that. So yeah, I see no reason for it doing that. Let's go ahead and... This, by the way, does not have a proper escape system. I should probably put one in. Let's see. But yeah, these... swear they were still going. Let's do the fuel delivery overlay. Yeah, so that can only drain from there. Yeah, it's separated early. Yeah, but that was not telling me what I was expecting. So let's just launch that again. And if and that's my mulligan. So if I derp this, then I live with the consequences. I'm on record. We're saying it. So yeah, welcome Jesse Spaceman. You are new. Are you a Kerbal player yourself? Okay, we've got the flight recorder up. I'm using MechJeb for GUI stuff right now, not for mission planning, other than I found my, I set alarms for the windows that way. Jesse Spaceman says, yeah, Kerbal player, excellent. Welcome to the chat. All right, altitude, acceleration, dynamic pressure. All right, let's try this again. Eric, I'm going to blame you for that. That was our simulation. We don't need RCS. All right, throttle up, and I've got fine control on. All right, so let's set our camera up again. And as you can see, we're, let's warp to dawn, where we were before. All right, and set the position over here. 6,500 hours, oh, nice. You probably got me quite a bit beat. Kerbal Space Program is the only game that I have that I think that Steam is not inflating my hours on. Most of the games I have tons of hours logged that are really just on the menu screen, but Kerbal Space Program, I've had so many installations of it, and some of them played outside of Steam, that it is vastly underreported. So it says I've got about 1,500, it's probably closer to 3,000. 6,500 is very respectable. Let's see, throttle up, SAS on, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. And yeah, let's get our gravity turn started immediately here. That could have also been the issue there. Yeah, I'm not forbidding myself quick saves and reverts, but I'm trying to avoid them. I'm trying to play this as close to hard mode as possible, because I'm pretty rusty on this game. Alright, vehicle is supersonic. Okay, yeah, this is behaving a lot more like I have come to expect. Alright, and we have maximum aerodynamic pressure and SRB burnout and separation. Let's point prograde. I think what happened is that the sound cut out and I panicked. Thought my boosters had stopped, so I think that was actually on me. I mean Eric. I mean me. Alright, we don't need this anymore. We have main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine start. And next we're going to come up on fairing separation. And there it goes. Now we've kicked over into orbit reference. Alright, let's go ahead and get back to here. So yeah, we've got a nice good view of the ship now. These beefier engines, and actually more efficient, but the issue, the trade-off is that they're a lot heavier. So the efficiency of the smaller engines were offset by their weight, so it was a good trade-off. Nice gravity turn, says Jesse Spaceman. Thank you. I've been practicing, but I still derp it at least half the time. So yeah, since we're going for the moon, we can go to a relatively high orbit. So I'll probably go for 100 kilometers and then cut the engine, and then coast to apoapsis. And I don't generally worry about getting a perfect launch window for the moon, since I'm not playing with any sort of life support mods. There's no Kerbalism or anything like that in this playthrough, so I don't really worry about giving them a couple extra orbits before I burn for a transfer to another celestial body. Alright, and we are in space. Kind of interesting that Texture Replacer goes for the white hair so often. Although Eric's got blue hair. All right, now we've just got a chill ascent. And this thing has plenty of delta V. Yeah, last time I launched this, I had half as much fuel in the landing stage, and honestly, I should probably have put more fuel here, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. If I can't get them back to my station, then I do have a dedicated rescue craft, and they can come and pick up my Kerbinauts. They've done it before, so I've got another lander in the works, but to launch it properly, I need to unlock the bigger fairings and bigger tanks. All right, let's switch to stability assist and nose up just a little bit. Looks like we got a perfect gravity turn for a low Kerbin orbit, actually, so around 80 kilometers. All right, let's set the moon as our target and take a look at the map. So it looks like we're going to want to come around to about here in order to burn for the moon. So our contracts that we have available here, once we get to the moon, if we transfer or transmit science data, then we will fulfill this contract here. Yeah, as soon as you see the moon on the horizon is generally the rule. And I might try that in the near future just for the challenge. That could be fun. And let's see. So we've got a Kerbal in orbit of Minmus that we will rescue later, and we have 2 in orbit of Kerbin. And we also the issue here. I've explored Minmus quite a bit, but have found that I have not fulfilled this contract because I tend to return my Kerbals in a different craft from the one I launched them. So the game says no, you have not returned from orbit of Minmus, but I definitely have. Rather than cheese that in the cheat menu, though, I'm going to actually combine that with the rescue mission from Minmus. So if we go orbit Minmus and save Ilong Kerman, and then bring him home, we should actually finally get credit for this contract. Hey, Bowser, welcome. It's good to see you here. We are headed to the moon. Another thing I'd like to learn how to do is properly plan gravity assists for distant planet missions. That is a seriously challenging thing, and I think there's some good software out there for it. I think MATLAB is the one that people use for it. That might be fun to learn, but that's gonna take some time. All right, well, we changed our point of reference, so we did a little camera cartwheel there. All right, let's get a stable orbit. There we go. Okay, so now if I get to our periapsis, we might not even need to. So, or our apoapsis. Yeah, here's apoapsis. Let's go ahead and warp to there. Gravity assists are tricky, says Jesse Spaceman. Yeah, they are the guys who plan the missions for NASA. Those guys really impress me. The math that is involved is insane, and they were doing stuff like that all the way back in the early spaceflight days. If I could talk today, that would be great. It's just intense. Even more than the engineering of the rockets, that really impresses me. Nice looking Kerbals, says Bowser. Yeah, they got their hair is different colors now. I've installed a mod that lets me I changed the Skybox, so I've got I don't think I can see it from here. So I've got a Skybox that will look better at high zoom because it still pixelates a lot, but it's a much higher resolution than the default one. So yeah, this one right here. But the prerequisite mod that replaces textures, it actually also changed the hair color on all my Kerbals, and you know what? I'm just gonna go with it. It's great. Okay, so now we've got a much more circular orbit, and the moon is here, and so I want to burn about right here. So let's plan our maneuver. Yep, and sure enough, that gets me a pretty nice encounter there. All right, yeah, we're just going to go with that. Yeah, mission navigation planning, especially for stuff like Voyager and Juno, New Horizons, all of those that rely on multiple gravity assists. It's just insane. Crazy enough for the Apollo missions, but yeah, those are intense. All right, so let's see. That's Lisman. We've already rescued him. Margaret and Meebles. Meebles? Meebles? I'm not sure how Kerbals pronounce their own names. They all just say, "Rah," and I can't really make anything out of that. But yeah, we'll be rescuing those very soon. Alright, we're time warping until we're closer to the maneuver node. It is a 1-minute burn. So at about 40 seconds or so to give us some margin, because I'll want to do the end of the burn at lower thrust, we will start. And I've got lots of overpowered reaction wheel going on here. So we are turning just fine without RCS. Let me double check. Did I even put RCS fuel tanks in this thing? I did. Okay, good. I remember at one point I had forgotten that. Of course, we're burning at night, but yeah, there's the moon right there. And yeah, just like Jesse said, just as it's coming over the horizon. And let's go ahead and start the burn. Start the engine. So I saw the latest video with teasers of what's coming in Kerbal Space Program 2, and holy cow, the engine plumes. Those are too exciting for me. This waterfall mod is nice, but man, the vanilla plumes are going to look like real-world plumes. All right, let's go ahead and stage. And yeah, we're gonna have to use some of this stage, so I guess it is good that I've got the this going on here. So this is gonna be interesting. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how this goes. Yeah, I might have to send some fuel at them. Okay, so we have 700 meters per second left in this stage. That is definitely not enough. So let's go to the moon and get in orbit, and then let's send some fuel at them, because this is not going to be enough for a landing. In fact, we don't have a proper encounter yet. Let's raise the apoapsis. Alright, that's looking pretty good right there. That's what we had originally. Okay, let's go to here and warp, and that's going to take a day. KSP2 gets closer every day. I've been waiting patiently as I can. Part of me is kind of glad that it's delayed for a couple of reasons. One, I'm glad that they're taking their time to do it right, and two, it gives me time to do this playthrough. There's so much that I have not done yet in the original Kerbal Space Program. I have not actually been to every celestial body, so that's what this playthrough is about. I'm keeping it very close to stock. I've got mostly just some quality of life mods and visual mods. And so we're going to go to every body in the stock Kerbin system. And then I think what I want to do... Oh yeah, I haven't been to a comet either. I haven't even seen a comet. I haven't played since the update before they added those. Not seriously, anyway. So after I've got things sent to every planet, I think what I want to do is set up a mega ship. Did it just take away my encounter? It did. Oh my gosh. Let's push radial out, and that should get it for us. There we go. Yeah, the calculations on that are iffy at best. But yeah, then I want to make a mega ship and do a grand tour with a raster prop monitor, and maybe do it mostly from first-person view inside the cockpit. Alright, I think we're going to be able to, let's warp to the periapsis and get into our capture orbit. But yeah, I don't think we can safely land with our current fuel margins. So, noted, I've upgraded the ship, but I needed to upgrade the launcher as well, because we definitely needed to use our transfer stage to get to the moon and not our landing stage. Would be nice. Okay, that's pretty good here. Let's circularize a bit. Yeah, we're going to need more than 0.5 kilometer per second to safely land. And there is Jobry's capsule. We rescued him before, but I don't think I was able to reclassify his capsule as debris. I'll have to do that in the save file. Still haven't done that for Lisman. Okay. Alright, let's leave them in this orbit here, and I do have a docking port on this thing, so I can add fuel. So let's head to the Space Center, and we are 3 days out from our course correction to Jool. I'm going to take a sip of my drink here. Alright, so let's actually send... Let's send a big old honkin' tanker, and maybe we can leave it in orbit of the moon, and it can service a couple more missions before we deorbit it. Alright, yeah, here is our fuel tank. And hopefully I'll be able to upgrade this as well. Once we get a few of these new parts that I'm hoping to unlock soon, we will definitely be upgrading everything on our station. Alright. Come on, load. There we go. And we'll have a night launch, and that is okay. Let's see, altitude, acceleration, dynamic pressure. Those are what I like to track here. Set the target. And let's set the position to same spot, right about there. And target will be, let's see, count as a ship? Yeah. Let's make sure that that is the right target. Yep, okay, perfect. Alright, so SAS on, throttle is up, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. We'll begin our pitch over. This thing has some serious power, so need to get the pitch over started before we're going too fast and have too high a pressure. Otherwise, we'll lose control. Yeah, even as pixelated as this is, it was much worse with the stock Skybox, which is a good-looking Skybox, but still. Alright, we are transonic. And we have maximum aerodynamic pressure. Go ahead and get this out of the way now. Yeah, our apoapsis is already in space. This thing has some serious get up and go. And yeah, we're getting the reentry effects on the way up, but we'll be fine. All right, we're coming up on solid motor burnout and separation. Hey, Raider, welcome. It's good to see you back. I upgraded my moon lander. Back with some sound. Oh yeah, you didn't have sound last time. Yeah, we upgraded the moon lander and then realized we hadn't properly upgraded the launcher to handle a heavier moon lander. Let's go ahead and cut the engine. We've got a really high apoapsis. And we'll end this camera view. Here we go. So now we've got a telemetry view here. This is like in the live streams for real life launches where they switch from the camera to their CGI telemetry. But yeah, our oh, you saw the kaboom? Oh, yeah, that actually was a derp, and I gave myself a mulligan on the very first launch. So, but yeah, the lander though, we upgraded that, but didn't upgrade the launcher enough to handle a heavier lander. So we actually had to use the lander's fuel to make our capture orbit, which means it doesn't have the fuel to land. So that's a derp, and we are sending a fuel tank to the moon this time, and we're going to leave it in orbit around the moon and use it to refuel this and potentially future launches. All right, let's get close to apoapsis, maybe 30-40 seconds out. There we go. And let's go ahead and start the engine. And yeah, this will get us our orbit. And we'll want to, okay, we need to stage. And second stage engine start, there we go. All right, and yeah, this is our lower power, higher efficiency engine, and we've got lots of time to work with, so we will be fine for an orbit, and then we'll coast and then do our transfer burn. Let's go ahead and deploy that. Goodbye, interstage fairing. Yeah, and this will be there to provide a little bit more RCS fuel as well, although this doesn't carry a ton of RCS fuel. This is mostly for maneuvering this to dock with the station. Which I did, I think, 3 refueling missions at the station between streams. So we've got one of these docked currently with a little bit of fuel left, and the other 2 were specifically to refuel the rescue vehicle. Which, if all goes well this stream, we will have the technology to start working on the replacement for that and retire that one very soon. Yeah, this Delta V readout is only counting this tank. If necessary, I have these 3 locked so that I don't use that fuel on ascent, but if necessary, I can tap into that. And we will have more than plenty for refueling our moon mission. All right, we're watching this apoapsis or periapsis come up. We'll get a roughly circular orbit and then plan our transfer burn. That is plenty. This does not have to be a super pretty orbit. All right, so we want to be about here. All right, and there is our moon encounter. And in fact, if let's go ahead and push it a little bit here. And let's see if we can get into about the same orbit as the current lander. There we go. And yeah, that one's at about 1 megameter, so that will do nicely. And yeah, so this is telling me that I don't have enough. So let's go ahead and unlock this tank here. And yeah, that gives me plenty. So I'll probably end up unlocking both of these, actually. Yep, and that'll give me plenty. And then this tank in the middle will be full for doing the refueling of our lander. Let's go ahead and get closer. This is a 1.5 minute burn. Alright, RCS on. Definitely necessary for maneuvering this big, heavy beast. Alright, and this will get us in line with the maneuver. Alright, and I can turn the RCS off now. Yeah, I've only got a tiny reaction wheel in the probe core that is clipped into the base of the fairing. So let's go ahead and get a little bit closer to the maneuver. That should be good. And then the gimbaling of this engine will take care of further attitude control. And let's go ahead and start the engine, not go quite to full thrust. That should be pretty good, about 80% thrust. Alright, and let's watch this from the map view. At this thrust, we've got about 1.5 minutes left in this burn. So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy one of my beverages while we do this. I've got an orange mango juice here for hydration, and the stream beer today is a grapefruit IPA from Uinta. It is quite good. Alright, we're halfway through this burn. And things are looking good. Everything is nominal. Right, 40 seconds left, and now we're really pushing that apoapsis. Alright, 10 more seconds. In fact, I'm going to throttle down a little bit for a little bit finer control here at the end. And let's actually clear that and just point prograde, and let's get the real-time indicator. There we go. And so periapsis, we want moon periapsis. There we go. Right there, at just over 1 megameter. All right, let's warp one more day And that will take us into the moon's sphere of influence. Yep, there's our lander right there, waiting for this delivery of fuel. All right, yeah, we've got a weak signal to this relay, but that relay is coming in handy. See, Spaceman says, I managed to land a floating base in the Explodium Sea on Eve. Ooh. Okay, funny story with Eve. Like most KSP players, I have managed to land on Eve, but not return. But even worse, in one of my very early playthroughs of KSP, I landed a manned spacecraft on Eve, and I got him out. He did some surface science, and then not only did he not have enough power in his jetpack with the high gravity on Eve to get back into the ship, I also did not have ladders. So he's not just stuck on Eve, he's stuck outside of the ship on Eve. I might even still have that save file somewhere. But I think it's Jebediah too, of course. But yeah, Eve is an interesting challenge for sure. We'll be going there in the future. I'm not sure when. Eve is pretty, though. Eve is really pretty. Okay, we have quite the inclination, though, from our target. So let's point retrograde and turn on RCS to do so. And let's get our orbit. Okay, that's interesting what's happening there. Paul. I'm not sure if I've been to Paul. I've seen Paul, of course, but I'm not sure I've actually gone there. And man, it is going crazy with my RCS thrusters. Alright, okay, but we can turn those off now. Alright, we're 7.5 minutes out from periapsis. Let's get closer and get our capture orbit. Alright, we're going to point retrograde and fire the engines. Alright, there's our orbit. Let's circularize it a bit, and actually let's get our target and our intersect as close as possible. Which is not going to be super close since we're pretty high relative to them. Okay. Alright, that's pretty good. And now, okay, so, and we're at the node too. Okay, that's perfect. Still, I think I want to improve this. So let's add a maneuver there. It's the ascending node, so I want to burn anti-normal. Let's pin that. And we're also going to want a little bit of a retrograde element here. Actually, I think that already is doing... Let's see what this gets us. Okay, yeah. Separation 25 kilometers. That is not bad. Let's go ahead and do this, and then we can do a little bit of a correction right around here, and that will be pretty easy. And hopefully we get we keep a decent signal with enough of this stuff orbiting the moon. I think we will. All right, so that is in 5 hours. So yeah, we're gonna get right up against our Jool course correction here. So we're gonna do this and probably switch to the Jool probe, and then switch back to this. So we are truly multitasking now that we are going interplanetary. Which is, in my opinion, one of the funnest things to do in this game. Manage multiple interplanetary missions at once. Okay, here we go, and this is... Let's go ahead and turn on our RCS to get over here. I barely overshot it, but this is not one that I need to be super precise about, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, just a little bit of thrust since this is a tiny burn, only 25 meters per second. In fact, I'm more using this to control my attitude than anything else. It is getting easier to fly as it gets lighter, but it is still a beast of a ship. It's just a big old fuel tank. That's it. Alright, that is pretty good. And if I can... Okay, yeah, we've got a 21 kilometer separation there. There's a lot of noise there. Okay, I don't want that. Don't want that. Don't want that. Can I get rid of that? Nope. Not without getting rid of this too. Okay, so let's go to here. Let's warp to here. Okay, 4 hours and 51 minutes. So let's actually switch to our Jool probe first. Although with the margins we're working with there, minutes don't even matter. So yeah, let's what this is basically to remind us that we need to pay attention to that. So we will be fine. Let's warp. This is in 1 day and 0 hours. Okay, so that's an hour and a half after this. All right. Let's just manually warp then. I'm just trying to think to myself the best way to approach this. All right, we got 4 hours. 3, 2. And I think this will automatically take me out of warp for this alarm. Yeah, it is automatically slowing me down. I'm not doing that this time. Perfect. Okay, and now let's point... Alright, yeah, let's go ahead and jump to Vessel. See how that works. I know in Kerbal Alarm Clock, the old mod that we used to be needed for this, that could cause some issues, but yeah, delete and close, but that's in the stock game now. So okay, so here is Jool probe. Which one is this? Jool probe 1. And okay, good. We do have a good signal. And we even have electric charge. Fantastic. I was worried about that. And okay, the next alarm is for Moho mid-course correction in 37 days. So yeah, we have lots of time for that. Okay. And this isn't too heavy, but we're limited to just the reaction wheels in this probe core. All right, now we need to change our course by 300 meters per second. And we will, it's just a small burn, so we're going to gently power up the engines. There we go. Very low throttle. Let's turn SAS on. I didn't even realize that was off because we'd, yeah. Let's see, Jesse Spaceman says, before playing this, I had no idea how any of this stuff worked. It took me like a week just to get to the moon. 9 years later, I've landed trucks and bases on almost every body, established stations, and even caught and mined asteroids. Successfully made multiple SSTOs and even a successful space shuttle. It's amazing, this game. It really is. It's like the XKCD comic about understanding of orbital mechanics and his actual job at NASA versus playing Kerbal Space Program. It's too true. There we go. see how that has done for us. Yeah, I keep trying to build an SSTO. I assume by that you mean an SSTO space plane, because that's what is usually meant there. And I have never successfully done it. Well, that's not true. I've managed a couple that barely get to orbit and then can return. And I barely count that because you're just grazing the edge of space. You can't actually do anything useful with it. I can't take cargo with those or anything. So that is something that I'd like to tackle in this playthrough for sure. All right, so that gets us there. Okay, what other alarms do we have? There we go. Moho mid-course, and then we have transfer windows, but those are really off in the future. I might want to put some more in for these that we've already sent probes to for our next missions. Let's see how 1B is doing. I don't remember if I need a course correction for that guy or not. And the main difference between 1 and 1B is how many batteries I have, so... Alright, map view, and zoom out. Okay, this already has a Jool encounter. Okay, so no course correction needed there. Alright, let's head back to the moon. Alright, and here is our moonlander, here is our tanker. And, yeah, here we go. That's a nice view there. Yeah, this game, even without the visual mods I've installed, this is just an absolutely beautiful game, and the sequel is going to be even better. Okay, let's maneuver at the descending node. Okay, that gives us some time. And descending node, so we want to burn normal. Let's pin that. And as long as this is getting us closer, I will add this to the maneuver. That's probably about as much as it will. And let's try some radial in as well. Nope, that's not doing it. Radial out? Oh, it was even worse. Retrograde is the thing. Alright. Okay, that gets us within about 10 kilometers. 7. Five. Okay, so that is as close as that will get us. And from there, we can just manually pilot the thing. Okay, so that's just a tiny 10 meter per second burn, and it's coming up in 1 hour. Let's get a few minutes out and then start pointing towards the maneuver node. And yeah, we're going to do a rendezvous in orbit of the moon, and our first in-orbit refueling around the moon. Alright, we're 4 minutes out. Let's go here. And yeah, we're in target reference. Let's point retrograde, because we will want to adjust from there, I think. Yep, it's very close to that. Yeah, and that makes sense because if we burn from here, we will be pushing the retrograde marker towards the target marker, which is exactly what we want. Let's keep an eye on our monopropellant. We are doing fine there. Alright, let's get about 20 seconds out because this is at full thrust, a 1 second burn, so we're definitely not going to be doing it at full thrust. I don't have that kind of precision. MechJeb could do it, but we're not using MechJeb for that yet. In the late game, we might start doing that. I don't consider it cheating, considering that it is a lot closer to how real space missions are run, but it is also not the stock vanilla Kerbal experience, so we're holding off. Then again, neither is this overlay. All right. There we go. And now we've got a separation of 4.3 kilometers, and we'll be going about 20 meters per second relative to our target, which is still 30 kilometers away, so let's get closer. That's one thing I haven't really used is MechJeb, says Jesse Spaceman. MechJeb is probably the most controversial mod, and I love it. Right now, the main reason I put it in is for this atmosphere info and descent stats here, because I used to use Ferrum Aerospace for that, so that I could see my my Mach, my dynamic pressure, and all that. But Ferrum currently does some terrible calculations on things like fairings. So rockets that should be very stable, like the one I launched at the beginning of this stream, they just immediately flip out of control. It's pretty much unusable in its current state, unfortunately. But I found that this is part of MechJeb, and so I'm just using this. Plus, the pork chop plot for planning transfer windows is fantastic. That's what I used to set up these alarms here. Alright, we're 6 kilometers away. Let's see if I can improve my intercept. Alright, so here's the retrograde marker, there's the target marker, and I want to push this again. So let's keep a look up here, and yep, that is going down exactly as I want. 3 kilometers, 2... Alright, that'll get us 500 meters away. Let's warp closer. And this is a familiar maneuver for this stream, but a new backdrop for it, so that's exciting. All right, and just loaded the craft, but it was much quicker than the station, that's for sure. All right, we're 1 kilometer away, and we're gonna be going a nice slow 3.8 meters per second on our close approach, so that is easy to work with. We still have about 3/4 of our monopropellant left. More than enough. All right, let's tighten this up even just a little bit more. $200 meters, that is pretty good. And let's point retrograde. And it's going crazy with my RCS. That's fun to watch though. Very fine control there. Awesome. All right. All right, let's get oh, and persistent rotation again. That is annoying. I keep forgetting I need to go back to stability assist. Otherwise, it just uses the celestial body I'm orbiting as its reference and just snaps me back. So, yeah, I hope they fix that soon because I don't think it used to do that. There we go. Stability assist, and we don't have that problem. And my RCS is not actually on. That's a visual glitch while you're in time warp. Alright, and let's just slow to a stop. Perfect, and we'll control from here. And let's Aim towards the target. And in fact, well, no, let's, I'll want to actually deorbit that, so I was going to transfer the fuel and then separate that, but space junk, while not a danger to my craft up here at this point, it is something that the simulation has to account for, so it does affect performance, and I don't really want that. Alright, that'll get me within 1 meter. Very, very nice. Okay. Let's slow down. And let's point. Let's control this from here. And set this docking port as our target. And let's point the docking port we want right there to make this easy. Just like that. Well done, Eric. And now we can set this docking port. Make sure we are controlling from here still. And I can't click on the docking port. Probably means we're already focused on it. Hey, Satan. Welcome to the stream. We are refueling a moon lander. And then we're going to land it on the moon. Yeah, if I can't click on that, I probably already have it targeted. Okay, let's fine-tune the approach here. And slow it down just a little bit. I saw you did pretty well on Bruno's half-hearted challenge, Satan. Not surprising, you tend to do pretty well on those. You're pretty dedicated to them. Okay, and turn off SAS so it doesn't fight us, and there is our docking. Nice, and I actually had people witness a perfect docking that time. Usually when I do my perfect docking, nobody sees it. All right, let's do, this is one of those quality of life mods I was talking about, the TAC Fuel Balancer. And so this is the tank that I want. So Rockomax X200. Yeah, these two here are not the ones I want. I want that one and that one. Yep, okay, so let's unlock that. And we want in and in. And the camera is shifting as the center of gravity moves towards the lander. And it looks like we are full. And we've still got plenty right here. Yeah, we're leaving this in orbit. We might lower the orbit, might not. For now, I'm just going to leave it where it is. But look at that. So now if I... let's go ahead and stop that. Not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. And let's undock. There we go. All right, and now I've got twice the delta V I did before. So if I point retrograde, will that... Ooh, real close. There we go. All right, that's good. So now I think, let's take a look at the cheat sheet here. All right, so this is telling me about 600 meters per second delta V for a landing. So if I have twice that, that gives me a much more comfortable margin. Especially since I'm not quite in a low orbit, I'm in a decently high orbit. We're at 1 megameter here, so let's lower the periapsis. Actually, let's choose a landing spot. Let's see, do I already have science from that crater? I'm not sure. Don't think I do from that crater for sure. See what science experiments I have available. Okay, so I have the surface science kit. We do have our deployed science experiments there that we have not returned yet. What do I have in here? Oh, I have more that I can deploy as well. Alright, so can I look at those here on the moon? Is deployed science a thing? This is not telling me in mouse over what they are. Is this deployed science? It might be. Or do I have that on Minmus? It's not showing it to me. Very interesting. So, if I zoom in here, what if I change my focus to the moon and just visually scan the surface here? That's my relay satellite. Jobri's capsule. Jobri has already been rescued. Yeah, that's not showing me. What have we got here? Let's move this out of the way. HUD 3. There we go. That looks like it would be an icon for deployed science, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Interesting. I might have to do some off-camera research there. We're not going to worry about it right now, though. So we've got our ship right here, and we want to land. Let's say we want to land right there. So we want to lower our orbit over here. Let's just go ahead and warp to there and do this manually. This is just fun to watch, especially with the communications lines there. That's jumping as it finds different ground stations on Kerbin. Alright, and let's go ahead and just burn gently and lower our periapsis to something pretty low. I think maybe we want this crater here. We're not going to get science from every biome on every body. That would be a little bit overkill. I'm satisfied with simply visiting every celestial body. So, especially since once we get the science data back from Duna, we will be pretty good to go for unlocking basically the whole tech tree. Alright, so right about here is where I will want to adjust. Let's go ahead and warp to here. Now we're 59, let's warp to here. Give a little bit more margin. Okay, and now if I aim towards the horizon, And maybe I aim for these canyons. Let's try that. So I want to point this way to shift my orbit a little bit so that I'm going towards the north. And there I've got a landing there, so that will be good enough. Let's just land there and deploy some surface science and do our golf ball shot with the surface science experiment kit. And in fact, I'm going to want to raise that a little bit. Just so that I don't clip the side of that crater on my way down. Alright, so, and our suicide burn delta V is 700 meters per second. So yeah, I definitely would not have been able to do that before the refueling. But now I've got almost 500 meters per second of margin, so that is pretty good. Let's start heading down. That was terrible grammar. Let's start headed down. No. Okay, and this is telling me that I would need to start that burn in about 2 minutes. Let's focus on the ship. There we go. That's the button I was looking for. And raise that just a little bit more. Alright, now we're going to point retrograde, and I'm going to go into physics warp mode and get closer to our suicide burn. I don't like to fully trust Kerbal Engineer for the suicide burn calculation, just in case it is estimating below the surface instead of a little bit above the surface. But it is good for a ballpark figure. Alright, we're going to point a little bit up from there and full throttle. Just a little bit, there we go. Okay, so that actually is not quite what I want, because now I don't have the landing. So we're just going to coast until we're over it and then burn retrograde really hard. And yeah, we are in surface reference. Okay, perfect. Yeah, right about here should be good. No pressure. I only have, 3 live Kerbals aboard. I haven't killed any Kerbals yet, right? We haven't had memorial services. Alright. Full throttle. Might even be a little bit late here, but we are definitely going to get a landing, and it will be a fine landing, but it might not be on the flattest part of the crater. We'll see. Alright, that is good. I like that, actually. Alright, and we're 1 minute away from a suicide burn according to Kerbal Engineer. Let's go back into this view here, and let's extend the landing gear, which are upgraded. Yeah, no more micro struts. We've got full-size landing struts here. Oh, look at that view there. It's going to be over the horizon once we get into the crater, but for now we can see it. Alright, and we can see our shadow, so that is very helpful. Alright. Engines on. And yeah, the suicide burn countdown is not accurate because look at that. In just a couple seconds of burn, I was able to completely kill my velocity. So yeah, we're going to be eyeballing this. I wonder if it's not accounting for the crater. Interesting. Because yeah, we're 2 kilometers above the surface here. And we've got a slope of 13.5 degrees, which is not ideal, but I think we'll be able to do it, especially with these upgraded landing legs. Yeah, at low thrust, the suicide burn countdown is counting up, so yeah, I think we are fine here. Yeah. Yep. I don't know what Kerbal Engineer is drinking, but it's obviously stronger than what I am, so I want some of that. Yeah, this is difficult to do the fine control on here with these engines. It's definitely, they're definitely more responsive than the old engines. Okay. Yeah, this is quite the slope. All right, don't bounce too hard. Don't bounce too hard. We got this. We got this. We got this. Yeah, on a 14-degree slope. I think our center of mass might be a little high. We're just gonna let this slide down a little bit. We've got a gentler slope down there, so maybe what we do is hover just a little bit. We've got the delta V for this. So we're gonna hover, and we're gonna go down the hill here. Yeah, keeping the thrust to weight ratio is a little bit rough here. Yeah, there is a perfect 1 right there, but now I need to raise. Okay, 1.01. That is really good. Although it's going to go up as I burn off fuel. But yeah, a 1-to-1 thrust to weight ratio means we are doing perfect hovering, and I think that's something that I can get some science out of right there. Okay. We're looking for... Yeah, we're at 1.02. We're looking for a lower slope. Okay, 7.5 degrees. That's pretty good. Although I want to kill my lateral velocity. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh. Okay, we're fine. Oh, yeah, that was a mistake hitting that there. It aggressively went for the the retrograde marker. All right, so this is going to be interesting. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to launch from this position. But yeah, that was a little rough. Let's see, if I turn on RCS, do I have enough power to right myself? I do not. Oof, yeah, no kaboom. That's what's important, no kaboom. And I can use that I can use that as a ramp. It won't be the first time. And let's go ahead and open that, and that will help us. I'm gonna use those as some landing legs. Yeah, we're just sitting here, chilling. And, you know, they don't see anything wrong. They're all excited. All right, okay, let's get out. In fact, let's roll over this way. Just like that. There we go. Now we have access to both cargo bays. Yeah, this is a typical KSP landing. We're fine. Everything is fine. We are great. Material study. Do we have a material study from here? We do not. From the moon's far side crater. That's a good sign. We haven't come here before. The fine dust of the moon has intermixed with some of the samples. You have a sneaking suspicion that they'll never be able to get the lab clean again. That's probably true. All right, I'm going to take a drink for that landing, though. There we go. Okay, so let's keep that. Let's get a crew report as well. You feel awestruck at the beaten-up nature of the moon. Yeah, we've beaten up it a little bit more now, so... yeah, I blame you, Eric. I blame you. I told you to point retrograde, and you're like, okay, and you just turned the stick hard. Way to go, man. Way to go. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting because these stage together. So we might end up using these engines a little bit to right the ship and then staging these. So yeah, that'll be interesting. We're going to have an interesting return procedure here. Let's get a barometer reading. Pressure gauge is sitting there motionless. Perhaps you should tap it a few times to be sure. I think we're sure. That seems right. And thermometer. The thermometer can't seem to make up its mind whether it's hot or cold here. All right, this is going to be a good science haul. I don't think I have the magnetometer. I've been keeping that on satellites. Do I have the seismic survey? Don't appear to have put the seismic survey on here. That's something I've unlocked recently, so no seismic survey. That is okay. All right, Lindsay, scientist, you're up. Let go, and let's go over here. And let's put up a flag. All right. Oh. Nominal. We intended to land on our side. Nothing to see here. Okay. All right, and now let's do our surface science. EVA report. You look up and search the sky for Kerbin. Suddenly you feel very small. Here's the thing about searching the sky for Kerbin. It's not there. We're tidally locked and we'll never see Kerbin from here. Let's get a surface sample though. There are large concentrations of melted byproducts here. Some appear to be formed by intense pressures and heat. I hope we didn't cause that. And let's zoom in and do the surface science. That's my favorite. Watching the astronaut look through the EVA science kit has given us conclusive evidence that the new situation has not improved their creativity. As the ball arcs off into the distance, you observe the ballet of physics between the applied impulse and the body's gravity. Our scientists will rejoice at the results, and hopefully agree that the 6-iron was a great club selection. As noted before, I do not know golf, so I'll assume that he knows what he's doing choosing that iron. But, yep, that ball is nowhere to be seen. Maybe it's in orbit. All right, let's deploy some surface science. That will be over here. And is this the controller? What is this? Okay, science control unit, perfect. I think I need to do this actually. Yeah, he does not have room. Okay, so let's do... Nope. Alright, buddy, you're gonna need to put this in there. And that. At least you can access it this time. Perfect, and now let's deploy it. Bloop. And I don't think there's an... Yeah, there's an interaction. Okay, there we go. And now we want to get our engineer out because he will need to... let's make sure that we have... Let's make sure that we actually have the power unit. I gotta say, this does make it a lot more convenient. So maybe what I need to do... Well, my upgraded lander will have the cargo bay on the bottom, so that will be easier. But you know, a horizontal lander like this is not actually a bad idea. Okay, there's the power unit. Okay, so we need to change to here, and Natalia needs to get out now. And you also need to surrender your EVA jetpack. There we go. And that way, this here. Perfect. And so now we'll need to deploy the power unit. There we go, like that. And place it. Excellent. Okay, so now that's going to deploy itself. We'll enjoy the animation there. Okay, so this is producing 0. Do I need to interact with it? No. Units required, units produced, needed and available. Okay, huh. So this does say that it has power available, even though this is saying it's not producing power. So I'm going to go with that it is producing power, and that is working out fine. Okay, come back over here, and then it will be... Who have we got? Is this Lisman? Lindsay, right. I think Lisman is dead. Alright, so... Lindsay, you are up again. Yeah, deployed. Okay, yeah, this is the goo experiment. And do I have a contract for that? No, I think I might have seen one, but I don't have it selected, unfortunately. For doing deployable goo experiment on the moon. Alright, and deploy mode. Let's put it right here. And there it goes. Screenshot. Alright, interact. It is powered. Okay, cool. So it is definitely working. I love this. There's this huge camera, and it's just aimed right directly at the goo experiment. Alright, I think it is time to pack up and go and bring the science home. Can I board from down here? No, but I can pick up... Well, he's got... Okay, yeah, I can pick up the jetpack. Oh. And then climb. Grab and board. Perfect. Alright, and now Natalia, you will need to get your jetpack. Oh, we've got an extra one of those. Nice. It's telling me that he's got more than he can carry, but he's carrying it, so whatever, we're going with that. Alright, turn on the jetpack. And up you go. And board. Alright. Moment of truth here. So, let's, I don't think we should close that. I think we should leave that open. Now, just in case, can I... Alright, what if I pin that and use this kind of to bounce? Will that work? Not quite. And we're pointed right at the flag. I don't want to ruin the flag. Those flags are a little bit delicate. Alright, this is going to be interesting. I've done this before, but this is This is the first time in this playthrough. Alright, so if I do the legs, though, how much do those bounce? Decent amount, but in the wrong direction. So let's retract those. Dang it, and that did not give me the momentum I wanted. Alright, we're just going to have to do this. Okay, so staging is good. That will separate and activate the next engine. So let's just go for it. Why are we not separated? Oh, there we go. There we go. Full throttle. Whew, we did it. Okay, that's too good. We did it. We did it. Oh, I will take it. I will take that for sure. All right, let's get our orbit going here. Woo, that was a rush. All right, Eric, I'm trusting you now. We're pushing prograde, and let's close this now. Okay. Apollo 11 only had to worry about sticking a pen into a circuit breaker so that they could ignite their engines, at least for the ascent from the moon. At least they didn't have to do that, which, you know, it could have happened. I mean, that was definitely going into some unknowns there with Apollo. All right, let's get up to this apoapsis here. And let's get a safe orbit. And then let's go home. Okay, and let's warp to here. Oof, I am super relieved, but that definitely got my adrenaline going. Alright, there's an orbit there. Alright, so now we need to get home to Kerbin, so let's take a look here. And so we're coming around this way, so we'll want to burn right around there so that we raise our orbit around the moon and lower it around Kerbin. So let's warp to here. That's only 6 minutes away. There we go. And start the engine. Now the question is, will we have the Delta V to maneuver with our station? Okay, so we want about 160 kilometers apoapsis, or periapsis. So that's about where the station is. Okay, that's 600 kilometers. I know that's really hard to read on my screen, so I can only imagine for the stream. There we go. 223. Right there. That is perfect. So now, okay, we're still 35 days away from our Moho mid-course correction, so that probably won't be on this stream. But let's get out of the sphere of influence of the moon. Let's watch the moon recede in the distance as we do so. Blocking the sun, so we got a little bit of an eclipse going on. There we go. There's the sun shining right in our eyes. And screenshot time, of course. I can never help myself. Gotta get those screenshots. Alright, let's go here. Alright, and now let's warp to around here. Alright, so how are we going to be against the station? Let's go back to type selection, stations. Okay, so we've got quite the inclination, so that's going to be expensive, and I bet that we will need to send the rescue craft. Oh yeah, look at that inclination. So let's go ahead and go down here. And that's the ascending nodes. We'll want to go anti-normal. I want to get out of time warp before I do this, because otherwise it'll snap to it, and that just feels a little cheaty to me, even though it doesn't really matter. We got lots of monopropellant too. Okay, good. Alright, anti-normal. Let's turn off the RCS though. We don't need it for this. And we are concerned about efficiency, so we're going to get really close to the node before doing a burn. And then we'll come around for another burn. But yeah, this is going to take up our Delta V, so yeah, definitely going to need to do a rescue of these guys, unfortunately. Alright, and I think actually this plane change, if I understand properly, I think it's actually going to be a lot more efficient over here. So let's warp to here. And then we'll want to go normal, since this is the descending node. And the reason is that overall we're going to be going a whole lot slower. So a change to our inclination will require a whole lot less delta V. Alright, let's burn normal. Let's test that out. So that's still in a while. So let's time warp a little bit more. Okay, and the node has disappeared, so that's a good sign. Oh yeah, that's going down fast. Alright, yeah, that's the smart play right there. I'm going to remember that for the future. Let's get, again, closer to the descending node, which we have pushed out ahead of us. I don't know if you can hear this, but the wind is blowing outside. Might have to close the window, which will make it hot in here, but it's getting noisy out there. Wonder if we've got a snowstorm coming in. That would be cool. Alright. Okay, now we have basically perfected our plane. Alright, and our periaps is still the same. We still have 200 meters per second to play with. Not nearly enough, but it is something. So let's warp to here. And it is nice to be moving the clock forward, though, too. So that is... I don't mind that. Let's pin those. Periapsis is coming up in about 15 minutes. All right, let's point retrograde. Let's get really close to that periapsis, and then let's burn. And lower our apoapsis as much as possible before sending the rescue craft. All right, and let's zoom out so we can watch this and burn. Watching the target position go around there like a clock is always hilarious. Okay, yeah, this is pretty good. It won't be enough, but it is pretty good. And that is the last of our fuel, and we definitely can't do this with the monopropellant and the RCS thrusters. We don't have enough. So we're going to need to send the rescue craft. Let's, how many orbits will we need? Okay, so the station is right there. And if we do a maneuver right here at the periapsis, yeah, we would need another. We need another almost 600 meters per second in order to actually do this, which we definitely have on the rescue craft. So let's add that here, and let's just see how many orbits will be ideal for meeting right here. Five maybe-ish. That's going to be interesting. Let's switch to the rescue craft now. And let's start planning it from here, from this end. Another drink while that loads. All right, and here is our station. Our older landers that we need to deorbit and retire. And here is our current rescue craft, which is outdated, but we don't yet have the technology that I would like to build its replacement, unfortunately. And Philip is aboard. He is another of our pilots, one of our most qualified pilots. Let's go ahead and undock. There we go. And separate. And yeah, our frame rate is pretty awful with all of these parts loaded here. Okay, now let's take a look. And let's go back to type selection, and we want ships Moonlander. And if we go right here, in these orbits, how many would it be? Oh wow, that really jumps there. Oh man, it's going to come around here just as we are exactly over there again, which is very inconvenient. So what if from here, or from here, let's see what happens if we burn prograde here. Will that move us in the right direction? This is really hard to grab the right handles. don't like that. Oof, I don't like that at all. Okay. Alright, let's move out here. And then pivot our orbit a little bit. And see if I can get these two to come together. I want that pinned. Yeah, it's struggling even to take my mouse inputs here because we are taxing the computer quite a bit with all this station parts loaded. Okay, a little bit of radio out and a little bit of prograde will get us an encounter out here. $70 kilometers, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Okay, that gets us 800 meters apart. We're going to be going pretty fast, so we'll need to match speed once we are out there. And then we can bring them back. Okay, so that's a 400 meter per second burn, and it is coming up in 4 hours. Let's see. Let's go ahead and time warp. Watch the station leave. Goodbye, station. Alright, 3 hours. 2. 1 hour. And this is why I'll never be hired by NASA, is because this is how my missions go. Okay, well that went poorly, so we need to add this other step. So we're fine, but it requires 3 more launches, and if we're talking SLS prices, that's another, $10 billion. So, and 3 years. So let's do that, huh? And that's when I'm fired. All right, we're about 15 minutes out. There we go. All right, let's point this. Let's turn off the RCS. We don't need that. We want to conserve the RCS fuel. And there is the maneuver marker right there. A mostly prograde and a little bit radial out maneuver. Is that radial in? That's radial in, my bad. And that will pivot and enlongen my orbit. And it's a 68-second burn at full thrust, so we'll do this at about 3/4 thrust and start about 40 seconds out. All right. Two, 1, and throttle up. And there goes that wind, but it doesn't appear to have been picked up by the mic. That's pretty nice. All right, now we just wait out this burn. I'm going to take another sip of my drink while we do so. Gotta say though, this engine cluster looks pretty epic. At what? 10, 12 frames per second right now? Alright, now we're out of range of the station, so... Oh, yep, and there the frames triple. Now we're up to 30 frames per second. Oh man, that station is rough on the CPU. I was thinking about preparing to save up for an upgrade to an 11th generation Intel processor. Or possibly changing to an AMD. But this 12th generation Intel is looking actually really good. It'll take me a while to save up for it, so maybe a year or two, because it's going to cost like $600 to $800 to do the upgrade I want. So I'll need to get the RAM upgrade as well, but I could potentially get double the performance of this 6700K i7 if I upgrade to maybe even an i5 of the 5th generation. That actually looks like it might be better for gaming than the i7. Okay, let's see if I... come on, I want that pinned. There we go. Wait for the MD announcement. Yeah, that's a good point. So, waiting to see what happens because, yeah, they're going to have something. And I just built my first AMD PC as an upcoming Christmas gift for someone, considering that graphics cards are impossible right now. So a lower-end gaming rig without a graphics card, but it's going to be a particularly good upgrade for this person, just in case they're watching. Not going to say anything more. Yeah, and wait for the comparison between Ryzen 6000 and Intel 12th generation. Yeah, I'm very interested to see, because I've been an Intel guy for a long time, but basically ever since I built my computer, the last 4 years or so, they've really fallen behind. Okay, so that is a really good intersect right there. We're going to be going 400 meters per second when we get there. Looks like we're going to have just enough time in the stream to do this intersect. So, I guess I was pretty ambitious with my goals in this stream, but we've done a lot. We've got the science. We safely got off the surface of the moon. That was a big deal. And we've done our course correction for Jool. So next stream, there's a good chance we'll be doing this next stream and doing the Moho mid-course correction. And so let's go ahead and get all the way around to here. Let's warp here and then see where we are at. Okay. It has changed my calculations. Grumbles. That's what I was afraid of. Okay, so if I do this here... Or what if I go inward? Yeah, that's going to be good. So, and that gets some of our correction going early too, which I do not mind. All right, I'm going to plan this maneuver here. There we go. All right, in 3 minutes, that's a 7-second burn. Let's see, Raider says, I have a Ryzen 7 1700X. First gen Ryzen might be time to finally upgrade, though it's still a pretty good CPU. Yeah, first gen and still pretty good. That says a lot. I mean, my computer is still pretty good. I don't need an upgrade, but I want an upgrade. Especially for KSP2. But yeah, it's about time. My previous one was a second generation Intel i7 on my MacBook Pro, my 2011 MacBook Pro, which I really miss. That was a really good machine, and possibly the last Mac I'll buy with their design choices since then. Almost as good as i7 7700. Nice. Yeah, part of my reluctance was simply unfamiliarity with AMD, but especially in the research I did recently for what can I do if I can't even find a graphics card for anything close to a reasonable price. Yeah, and it was a super easy build. I've never had, I mean, I've only built 3 PCs from scratch, so it's not a ton of experience, but it went together like nothing, and booted immediately from the stick, and Windows was installed. It was just a couple minutes from putting the stick in and having the Windows screen up. I was very impressed. Alright, we're coming up on this, and I'm definitely going to do this at a low thrust. Okay. And this is a precise maneuver, so I'm going to be very careful with it. But we do have plenty of delta V. We have 3.5 kilometers per second left with this thing, so... In fact, next stream I might just pick up exactly right here. Alright, let's chase this thing very carefully. Almost there. Alright. Very good. Okay, that gives us an actual intersect of 7.7. Can I... Yep, okay, I can keep pointing this direction and get closer. Alright. Don't know why that jumps like that. That's so annoying. In fact, let's... Yeah, slight retro burn with the RCS thrusters. Okay, so let's get closer. And Raider says, I'm looking for a new GPU, but prices are horrible and some storage because I have like 90 gigabytes available on 3 drives. I'm in a similar state. Yeah, and 84 on your HDD. Yeah, that's full. I definitely need to do some cleanup. I don't think my issue is actually storage. I think it's having too much junk right now, and I need to do some serious cleanup. But yeah, the I was looking at the RTX or GTX 1650, which I should be able to get for about 160 bucks, but I can't find it for lower than 400 bucks. So forget that. But the nice thing is that this build will have the ability to add a graphics card later. So there's an easy upgrade path in the future. But as it is, compared to the current dedicated graphics card, they're using... This is a 700% upgrade in speed, and I've tried it out, and it is true. It's a night and day difference. All right, we are getting close to the target. We're about 2 minutes away. Let's actually go to this view, look at the target. It's right in the sun, of course it is. All right, we don't need that. Let's just slow down and watch our separation. Yeah, why is it doing that? That is KSP being KSP. It's might be a floating point issue right there. Okay, but we're getting we're slowing down and we're getting our approach back, so I'm okay with this. Okay, as long as this is going down, I'm going to keep this burn. Oh, and it went up. Okay, so let's go ahead and get closer. Dang it. Yeah, that's right. Okay, we're 4 kilometers away, and let's point retrograde again, and we'll use the RCS because we need to do it quick. Yeah, I hate that it snapped me again. Alright, and we need to slow way down. Yeah, we're gonna blow by it. Dang it! Yeah. Okay, that's rough, but we're gonna be okay. We have all the delta V we need to deal with this. And I'm gonna change the stability assist so it doesn't try to swing me around when we change direction. There we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. And now we want to point retrograde again. Alright, we'll do this maneuver and docking. And then I will end the stream and find someone to raid. Okay, I need to slow down and tighten the approach. I'm glad you guys saw one perfect docking from me, because I swear I'm actually decent at docking. Except under pressure, apparently. Another reason why NASA would never hire me. Alright, and this will take us to 111 meters away. Alright, we're 600 meters away. $400. And 200. Oh, yeah. And again, it changes the calculations when I change the warp amount. And it even changed that. Man, yeah, this is... That's not even me derping. That's just the game being the way it is. Oh, Kerbal. Love-hate relationship. Alright, let's slow down to a stop. Alright, and let's control from here and point that towards the target so that we've got our docking port available. And then we'll perform the docking with the actual lander itself. We've got our CS fuel on there, so we can do that. We'll line that up there. Cool. And now we'll switch to here. Control from the docking port. Alright, and that is the target, so let's RCS on. There we go, target. That is not accurate. Okay, so this is not set as the target. There we go, now we're set as the target. Okay, that was problematical. Alright, headed right towards it, which is perfect. And I think we even have the right docking port selected, so... I mean, there's only one docking port, but I think we have it selected. Alright, we need to slow down a bit. All right, and here we come for our final approach. We're about 20 meters away. .2 meters per second. Got it back on fine control again. All right. And that looks pretty well lined up. Perfect. Yeah, this is going to be good. All right, so the plan now is I'm going to dock this, and that will be where we'll call it today. And I think I'm just going to leave it exactly right here so that next week we will pick up exactly where we're leaving off now. And we'll bring these guys home, and we will do some further rescues and further contract completions, and probably take it another 30 in-game days and do the Moho mid-course correction. Come on, there we go, perfect. Yeah, we are docked. Let's turn off the RCS, and let's make sure that we're in a good state here. Yeah, we're gonna come back around here, so we'll need to bring them back to the station. So if there's anything that I do between streams, I might just bring these guys back to the station, then we'll continue there, although I might just leave it here. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone who came by. Thank you, Jesse Spaceman, for joining and chatting. Yeah, I'd love to hear some more suggestions and expertise from you. Always good to hear from other experienced players. And let's see if there's anyone else online that I know, or if we need to find someone new. It's always hard to find streamers, especially smaller streamers for KSP these days. Hopefully we'll get a new crop when KSP 2 comes out. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there's me in the list. Always funny to see myself in the list there. Oh, there's one that's interesting. Not a good one to raid particularly because it's kind of a hands-off stream, but there's a Johnny O'Tan. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but he's always got Twitch Plays KSP. So he's got a mod installed called Kerbal Operating System, which is an in-game scripting system where you can totally program an entire mission and have it run autonomously. It's intense. And he's got a lot of pre-program commands that Twitch chat can do, so that's pretty interesting. But there's a lot of lull, but then suddenly something will happen as someone starts controlling a rocket. Kind of fun to watch. But I think what I want to go to is, let's see, someone named /Jack is making a USS Enterprise model, and then doing Jool Colony module launches, and that sounds pretty interesting. So I'm gonna load up that on my screen and mute it so we don't get feedback. All right, and let's go ahead and raid /Jack. And there he is, playing Kerbal Space Program. All right, I'm going to start the raid. Thank you everyone again for watching, and I will see you either next week for more Kerbal Space Program or on Wednesday night for some Minecraft. And, yeah, that's it. I'll see you then. We're starting the raid right now.